There's a strange kind of loneliness that only exists when you're constantly connected. Your group chats are buzzing, the notifications are lighting up your pocket. And still, there's a quiet sense that no one actually knows where or who you are. It's a great irony of our modern life. We've never been easier to reach, but never been harder to reach deeply. We're going to be discussing loneliness and the role of social media within that isolation and that solitude. So leaving your phone in another room doesn't just remove distraction, it removes visibility. For some people, that absence feels peaceful. For others, it's like they're slowly fading out of existence. Where do you sit on that, William? Where do you, listener, sit on that? Are you feeling peaceful? Are you feeling removed from visibility, from connection?
Yeah, I think the strongest connections I've ever made in life haven't been through social media. They've been in person. For example, I met you in person. I haven't started a podcast with anybody else. You know, I've met I have more reach to more people online than I ever have in my personal life. But it's the deep connections is where the value is. Surface level connections don't provide you any sort of deep support, which is basically the whole point of having the connection in the first place.
Do you think online connections can have the same deep meaning as face-to-face connections?
No.
Why not?
Now, I want to preface this is I get a lot of YouTube comments on the Will Taylor channel, and my whole philosophy has been if I give any weight to the positive comments in my life, I have to give equal weight to the negative comments. So it's easier for me to just not give weight to any comments.
Why do you have that rule, though? Because surely you can allow positives in to make you feel good and connected to people, but the negatives you can take with a pinch of salt.
I think, yeah. I think it's to do with validity. It's like I just question the validity of any YouTube comment. Like if somebody says I've got a good voice and I know that it didn't sound that good, like I don't believe it.
But it might have sounded good to them. Ultimately, they're living their life, you're living yours, and you're only judging the piece of work you've put out. And no one's going to judge that piece of work harder than you're going to judge that piece of work.
Well,
no one will ever judge you harder than you judge yourself.
I haven't told myself to jump off a bridge.
But I'd imagine the conversations you have with yourself are pretty damn stern. And I'm sure that comment made to jump off a bridge was fleeting. It was a snapshot in that person's day and they probably didn't think about it again.
Yeah. And that's what you think for the first one. And then you get 100 in a day and you're like, oh, you know, if this was a census, we're getting pretty close to this having to be spoken about in Parliament at this point. That's all right. They don't, even with 3 million signatures, they don't talk about things in Parliament that they should.
Don't talk about anything in Parliament. They just argue, don't they?
Yeah. Not allowed to clap in Parliament. Do you know that?
Are you not?
No.
That's me out then. Clap everywhere I go.
Yeah. Or you look clapped everywhere you go.
Okay, moving on. So you don't think online connections can be as deep as in person?
No, I don't. And I do think as well, I think for some they can feel deep, but only whilst they're being supported and championed by the other person. I think a deep connection is when you go through the highs and the lows. So for example, you've seen me in real life as I was actively going through a breakup and actively dealing with the decision on should I go on holiday with her or not, and you advising me not to. And then I saw you go through your breakup. Well, sort of saw. You told me that you...
I was very isolated. I isolated myself during...
I think I reached out a couple of times.
You did, yeah.
Did I? Good for me.
Well done, me.
But those are the things that you get surface level of. You get snapshots, but you never can quite judge like how crafted is that post, how crafted is this message that the other person has sent me. Whereas in real life you can see the person, you have the visual and the audible representation of what it is that they're feeling.
So you're suggesting when people do either reach out or post something onto social media, it's a warped reality? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
Because you never quite know what the truth is behind the post or how they were feeling. It's just very much a glossed over reality.
Yeah, there's always a wall of trust that is up. Like you can't 100% trust.